Warning! The following show doesn't represent the opinion of CIBL, its employees, or the local clown college.
I am the Supreme Irreverend Dr. Randy Tyson, and I took the left at the valley.
I know we shouldn't have to scream that we're atheists. You know, we don't have non-astrologers and all that. But with religious people taking over the world, I mean, we can either speak up or be pushed into a corner.
I'm proud to be an atheist, a skeptic, a non-believer, an infidel, a heathen. I call it how I see it. I say it's ignorance and you just call it faith and unsubstantiated claims. That's something to be ashamed. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist.
Out of the food pantry of CIVL 101.7 FM, this is Left of the Valley. My name is Kevin, and I will be your waiter. Joining me as usual is the crew that is now a source of 12 essential nutrients and part of your complete breakfast, except there's 2 of them missing right now. We have our source of riboflavin helping the production of energy and bones, Nancy. Yeah, I can barely hear it in your mic there, dear. Perfect. Let's hope so.
Now I'm essential nutrients.
We have our healthy source of Tyler to help our mucous membranes fight off the bacteria of misinformation, which will show up in a minute now. Our source of zinc to boost our immunity and help against religious trauma, Martina, as well. And guys, I guess Nancy, in the meantime, welcome back.
That's all right. They are here in spirit, and they will be here in the flesh before too long. I've got faith in them. Oh no, I have trust. That's right. We're atheists. I don't have faith. I have trust that they're going to be here.
Yeah. One heck of a week, that's for sure.
It has been. How's your week been going so far?
So far, it's been an interesting week. I've been looking at some interesting news. I've can't help but want to talk about the thing in Abbotsford that happened about this woman that had made some defamatory comments on Facebook about a professor.
Oh, I missed that. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, educate me.
Well, this is a high school professor, and I'm not going to name any names here. And there they are. They're finally showing up. Yay! And what happened is there's been some kind of a dispute. Their neighbors. And what they did is she decided to go on Facebook and complain about him. And then she made the comment to the effect that he's always keeping an eye on my kids.
Uh-oh.
And then Facebook kind of ran away with it and started calling the guy a pedophile, etc., etc.
Based just on her comments?
Yeah.
Without any evidence to the, in his defense?
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
So, so it's not the best of things to happen.
No, that's for sure.
So now the court have found, even though she took her post down, it was enough that the poor man has a reputation, and the people have been concerned that there might be somebody harming kids as a teacher, and that's the worst thing for a teacher to have, is that kind of reputation, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know whether you remember back in the 80s, but there was in California, there was a daycare center, and some children began to tell their parents that awful things were happening to them in the daycare center, and it ended up to be a huge scandal, and people went to jail, and the daycare center closed, and it turned out that it was just runaway gossip.
Yeah.
But people believed the children because they were children and said, well, they're just innocent. But those kinds of runaway gossip incidents can absolutely ruin somebody's life.
Absolutely, especially a teacher. So the court decided to fine her about $65,000. And you know what? You got to watch what you say on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Even these days. Hey, guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I hear the traffic
was horrible.
That's what happens when you let the blind guy drive.
Hey, tell me it wasn't the... you guys weren't driving past that Tulip Festival thing again. Was it that?
No, actually there was construction on a Sunday.
On a Sunday?
Yeah.
Really?
And
don't they respect the Lord's Day?
Not at all.
No, neither do we.
And I realized that my fellow Canadians really have an issue with this merging from 2 lanes into 1. Maybe that's universal, I don't know, but there's always a huge backlog, so I wasn't pleased.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, anyway, let's get on with the show. Nancy, are you ready to go?
I am ready.
You ready to rock? Let's set you up.
You're ready to rock and roll. Okay, for this day in history, which is a roundup of those events and individuals that altered and illuminated the days between April 25th to today, May the 1st. So starting with April the 26th, that was World Intellectual Property Day. So if you had any world intellectual property that you needed to have copywritten or you'd like to celebrate, that was the day to do it. So April 26th, I won't tell you what year because that's part of the fun of this little topic. There was an article that advocated what is now email, which is predominant in the culture. So I'll read this to you. When do you think this article was written about advocating email? It was in the New York Times, and they reported that sending mails by electricity was to be investigated by the Post Office Committee of the U.S. House by providing for contracts with an existing telegraph company. And the proposal was that since the carriage of letters by steam locomotives was already done by contract, the delivery of mails by electricity seemed analogous. So such a method would be economical and might, in quotes, might speedily make the present volume of business seem infantile.
Now, okay, for someone who doesn't like my quizzes, and now you're posing these kind of questions, I'm going to go first.
Revenge.
I'm going to say, first of all, there's a couple of clues in there.
That's right.
Message by electricity, so we're talking a fair amount of time back. And it's a nice article written by the New York Times, so it's got to be way back now. So I would say early 1900s.
I was going to say late 19th century.
Oh, I have to.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, you're part of this team too, dear.
Yes, my eyebrows are raised at you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would go with what Tyler said, late 18.
1800s.
Yep.
Yeah, 1884.
Whoa.
Good, yeah. Good
Way to go,
guess.
guys. Way to go, guys.
Very good. Yeah, it's hard to believe that way back then they were conceptualizing the possibility of
And then
email.
what happened?
Well, with the telegraph, then
And-
yeah, that kind of makes sense. They're sending signals via electricity, so I would have thought of that too.
Yeah, they had to wait for the small chips, right, to encrypt a lot of knowledge or whatever. Tyler, you know more about that. Anyway, moving on to April the 28th, it was a Workers' Memorial Day in Canada. And it was also a day, I don't know whether any of you have seen the movie called The Man Who Never Was. It was originally in 1956, but there have been other documentaries about this particular guy. But this in World War II was called Operation Mincemeat, and it involved the acquisition and dressing up of a human cadaver. And they called him, the British called him Major William Martin, R.M., and they actually outfitted him in the kind of suit that a normal person would wear. They gave him a wallet, they gave him identification, they gave him pictures, they gave him receipts. They did everything to make it seem as though he was a major in the Royal Army. And then they took his body and they put it in the sea near Huelva, Spain. So, and attached to this poor guy's body was a briefcase containing fake letters falsely stating that the Allied attack would be against Sardinia and Greece rather than Sicily, the actual point of invasion.
That's a brilliant move.
It was a brilliant move because when the body was found by the Spaniards that turned it over to the Germans, all of the false stuff in the pockets, the data, everything that they calculated would pass as actual intelligence did, so that when the German intelligence service passed them on to the high command, the ruse was so successful that the Germans still believed that Sardinia and Greece were the intended objectives weeks after the landings in Sicily had begun. But it's absolutely fascinating if you ever have a chance to see the movie, because I don't know whether you can see it streamed or you have to download it from someplace, but it's The Man Who Never Was. It was a brilliant documentary and a great incident in World War II.
I think they did the same thing with the invasion of Normandy, where they had like inflatable tanks, and like they had people go and like make fake tank tracks.
Yeah,
No, I think you're talking about the parade in New York, aren't you?
Yeah. Whatever. One good idea is good for a lot of different events. On the same date, April 28th, in 1947, anybody ever hear of the balsa wood craft, the Kon-Tiki?
Yes.
Yeah, that left. There was a crew of 6 left Peru bound for Polynesia, and 101 days later, anthropologist Thor Heyerdahl and his crew landed, and they wanted to demonstrate his belief that the voyage was possible using materials and technology of pre-Columbian times. There's all kinds of books and articles and so forth. He was quite the hero at the time in 1947. 1953, I just love this. In 1953, same date, April 28th, big day in history, a U.S. patent was issued for an overcoat for 2 people. It's an
overcoat for 2 people.
An overcoat for 2 people, and a man actually got patent number 2,636,176. Why would someone want a patent? And I can't see that it was ever made.
What if you're like a really good hugger?
A good hugger, Siamese twin,
maybe something like that.
With some kind of a movie, underground movie. At any rate. That's a puzzle, but it's just one of those wonderful little things. April 30th was tax day in Canada, but everybody got a little reprieve this year.
Oops, I knew I forgot something.
Yeah, well, April the 30th, it came on a weekend, so everybody gets till May the 2nd, so I hope everybody's already gotten that out of the way.
I'm going to call my accountant now.
Yeah, right. So Canadians who are self-employed have till June 15th. So everybody take a deep breath. In 1966, the formation of the Church of Satan, and let's not confuse that with the Satanic Temple, because we love the Satanic Temple guys, but the Church of Satan, they're the wackos.
The devil worshippers?
They're the devil worshippers. They were codified in a Satanic Bible, and it was established at the Black House, where else? In San Francisco, California, by Anton LaVey. I think you knew, yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know him, but
no,
I know who he is. She looks at me, that's the guy that hangs with you, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a beer with him last week.
I think, Kevin and I have talked about him sometime before. That's why I was looking at you, not that you're big buddies and hanging out.
Yeah, Kevin hangs with the Satanists, but that's what I need for my reputation.
Well, actually, he died in 1997, so you would have only been a
wee
toddler.
He's got the powers of the Dark Lord with him. He's never dead.
No. But when he died, in 1997, a fellow named Peter Gilmore became the high priest, and then the church headquarters were moved to, I love this, Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan.
Beautiful.
I know, they really had to look, to find it appropriate to go from the Black House to Hell's Kitchen. Good marketing, guys. You got nothing going for you except good marketing. So we come to today, which is May Day, May the 1st, originally an ancient spring festival and public holiday, and a traditional spring holiday in many, many cultures. Dancing, singing, and cake are usually part of the celebrations. And then in 1889, May Day was chosen as the date for the International Workers' Day by the Socialists and Communists of the Second International Convention, and they set the date to commemorate the Haymarket Affair in Chicago, which was a riot in 1886 that stemmed from labor demands, and anarchists took over, and there were bombs thrown, and there were people killed, and it was an awful date. But luckily, it's turned into a nice workers' holiday. So, ending on that wonderful May Day note, which is a gorgeous day outside, thank goodness. Mm-hmm. And that, dear listeners, brings to a close another passing parade of interesting, mundane, and as many bizarre events that I can find and people that make up this day in history.
Thank you, Nancy, for another great this day in history.
Another 5 minutes wasted in your life. But fun.
Well, I'd just like to point out the difference, with the Church of Satan and stuff. I identify as a Satanist, I guess, but we don't believe in the devil. We don't believe in God. We're atheists. And then there's the crazy devil worshippers, and so many people don't realize that there's a difference between the two, because I understand. We're Satanists who don't believe in Satan. Yeah, that does sound stupid, doesn't it?
We'll do a show on something like that one of these.
Okay.
And we'll be right back right after this.
What is secular humanism?
Critical thinking. Knowledge is freedom.
freedom from ignorance and its offspring, fear.
The BC Humanist Association has been active in the Vancouver area for over 25 years. We offer a friendly and welcoming place to make new friends, as well as free educational lectures. We invite you to join us any Sunday at 10 a.m. in the Oak Ridge Senior Center. Please visit our website for more details, bchumanist.ca.
You are listening to CIVL 101.7 FM at the University of the Fraser Valley's Abbotsford campus, serving the surrounding communities of Abbotsford, Mission, and Chilliwack, British Columbia. Email us at info@civl.ca. Follow us on Facebook. Click like on CIVL Radio. Follow CIVL on Twitter at CIVL_radio.
Hi, I'm the Supreme Irreverend Dr. Randy Tyson from the Legion of Reason Diversion. Join me and my co-hosts, Christine Shelska, Twyla, and Nate Phelps, as we explore issues at the intersection of atheism, humanism, and skepticism. Topics range from alternative medicine to the interference of religion in public policy. We often have special guests to help us understand the topic du jour. Previous guests include biologist Jerry Coyne, ex-Muslim author Ali Rizvi, philosopher Peter Boghossian, and the late physicist Victor Stanger. You can watch us on the Legion of Reason YouTube channel or subscribe to the audio version through your favorite podcatchers such as iTunes or Stitcher. And don't forget to like the Legion of Reason Facebook page.
Are you ready to make it stop? Canada has the highest rates of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis in the world, and the diseases are on the rise in kids under 10. Join Crohn's and Colitis Canada on Sunday, June 5th for the Gutsy Walk at over 60 community walks across Canada. It's time to stop the pain, stop the surgeries, stop the missed moments. Sunday, June 5th, show you've got the guts to make it stop. Register today at gutsywalk.ca.
Every night on television we see satire, we see comedy, we see people poking fun at politicians, at all sorts of things. Why should religion, especially the Muslim religion, why should that be immune from people making fun of it? Not that this is making fun of it, I understand, but even so, why should you think that Islam should be uniquely immune from the things that politicians are not immune from and the rest of us are not immune from? Why are you so privileged in taking offense?
And we're back. That was, of course, our friend Richard Dawkins. Guys, I've got a special guest coming on. She's on the phone. She's just waiting for us to bring her in. So let's bring her in. Our next guest, okay, is an Ontario resident who hosts the popular Beyond the Trailer Park podcast. And she's a panelist on another show called Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. along with her husband and her 5 cats. She's found her true passion, which is arguing with theists, obviously. She's a snappy dresser and a snazzy dancer. Please welcome Debhorah MxTaggart. Deb, you there?
Hi.
Hey, welcome, Deb. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Now that I got this time zone thing figured out.
Yeah, Deb's in Ontario, so she's 3 hours ahead of us. So
yeah, it's like 4 o'clock here.
Don't you think that means that she's just ahead of us? And just because it's Ontario, they're not ahead of anything.
Oh.
Them fighting words. Welcome to the Valley, Deb.
Thank you.
For some of our audience that might not know you or probably new to discovering you, would you be so kind to give us maybe the Reader's Digest version of who you are?
Sure. Well,
besides the 5 cats, of course.
Yes. Well, I've been an atheist for like almost 27 years now, and in Ontario, it's not such a big deal, but a couple of years ago, I kind of got the fire lit under me that I need to talk about this stuff, so I started getting involved with stuff online, and all of a sudden, I ended up doing my own show somehow. I'm not quite sure how that happened yet, but we've been doing it for a year and a half now. We're actually live on YouTube, and then I upload as a podcast later. And a few months after I started doing my own show, I ended up panel guest on my friend's show, which you guys seem to love. Holy crap, is a podcast.
It's a great title.
Yes, it is. And my show's Beyond the Trailer Park, which there's a story behind that, which we can get into later. That there's a reason why that, and I don't live in a trailer park, so.
That was the first question.
Yeah, no.
You just live beyond it.
I actually live in Oktoberfest land of Kitchener, so.
Oh, Kitchener.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
and I thought this was just an invention of the media. I didn't think it actually existed.
Nope. So, yeah, I do that, and I try to stay active in some of the local groups, and I have my hands in a few places.
So you got your hand on the pulse of what's going on in Ontario as far as the secular movement is concerned.
Yes, I hang out with a number of people in Toronto regularly as well, because we're not too far from there. So.
It's okay, we won't blame you. I mean, Toronto, really?
Hey, I just got to hang out with Aaron Ra last month in Toronto.
Well, you know what? I've got a funny announcement, because he's actually going to be in studio with us here next week.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So
he's pretty awesome. I had a very enjoyable evening hanging out with him and his wife.
He's totally awesome. Now I'm just struggling to find some really dark beer, because that's what he likes, and I want to make sure he's happy. So you sticking with us for the show?
Pardon?
You're sticking with us for the rest of the show?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So let's go to our religious news segment. This is...
Another brilliant moment brought to you by religion.
The weird and wacky world of religion. You know, in Salt Lake City, just when you think you couldn't get even more boring to be a Mormon, Utah Governor Gary Herbert signed a resolution declaring pornography is illegal. And it's a public health crisis at the Utah State Capitol. Quote, "This is a historic day for the good, clean living people who call the state of Utah home," Herbert told reporters. "This new law will protect our children and make our state pure from the heathens who go against God's will." This, by the way, is completely real. You know, I know this is not the kind of stuff we hear in Canada, but yeah, this is totally real.
Does he know that Utah has the highest consumption rate of porn in all of the United States and has since they started tracking that stuff?
Yeah, that's true. Utah is one of the highest rates, so it's probably one of the main industries of Utah, too. So this anti-porn resolution was introduced by the Republican State Senator Tom Weller in January of 2015 to battle the pornography epidemic harming the state and the country. The resolution calls for increased education, prevention, research, law enforcement, and policy change at the community and societal levels. Under the new law, those living in Utah who possess pornography of any kind, that being a magazine or viewing pornography material online, will face harsh fines and even jail time for repeat offenders.
Is there a definition of pornography? I mean, I remember way back, I think when the Supreme Court made a ruling on pornography, it was that you know it when you see it. So I'm wondering, where the pornography fits, where the definition comes in here. So, whether you're going to go to jail or a slap on the wrist or you're still clean and pure, where are you on the spectrum?
Watch some kid go to jail for possessing National Geographic, right?
Exactly. Yeah, all those baboons swinging naked through the trees. There ought to be a law against those guys.
So... it gets better and better. So first-time offenders will see fines of $100 to $500, depending on the quantity of pornography or the amount of digital graphic content seized on the criminal's computer. Repeat offenders can expect 30 days in jail or worse, depending on what type of pornography is found in the individual's possession. Missionary-style pornography will result in fines up to 30 days in jail, while pornography that involves any kind of homogayness, and that's actually written like that, homogayness, that being sodomy or devil worshipping, will result in long-term prison sentences. Law enforcement will also be working closely with local ISP and the NSA to monitor those who search out porn in the internet.
Wow.
Fappy, the anti-masturbation dolphin, which is a mascot.
Again? What?
Oh yeah, Fabby.
Wow.
Dying
More like sexual harassment panda.
Oh, this is too good. What was that? What was the name of that dolphin that used to have that show there? That in the 70s.
Flipper?
Flipper, that's right. It's not Flipper, it's Fappy, his bad cousin. Fappy.
Flipper got arrested for masturbation and is no longer part of.
Oh, hold on.
Well, now we know why he's called Flipper. Apparently.
That's right.
Hold on, I gotta switch the music because I got better music for this kind of. This is just too fun. All right, this is better music.
There we go. His original name was Fluffer, but it didn't work on TV.
So, Fappy the dolphin, the anti-masturbation dolphin, is a mascot for a Christian organization that travels around the country educating children about the dangers and consequences of masturbation.
Like blindness?
Or hairy palms, I don't know. Hairy flippers, right?
Now you guys know how I really went blind.
Oh, okay. Give the show to Tyler. He won that one. I think it's great that the state of Utah has done today for fighting the war on self-rape in the country. Self-rape.
Yeah.
The rest of America needs to get with the times, vote for Ted Cruz, and make masturbation illegal once and for all. It is important to remember that our Lord loves each and every one of us. Unless we masturbate, then we'll burn in hell for eternity.
So
okay, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Well, are they going to assign masturbation cops to every home that has to be there from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then you got to give them a cup of coffee and.
Well, that's why missionaries are always in pairs, right? So that they can watch each other and make sure they don't jerk off at night. Seriously, that's one of the reasons why they do that.
Oh, God, that's just too good.
I'm blind. I think porno should be illegal because if I can't look at it, nobody else should be able to.
Well, while we're on the topic of masturbation being a horrible thing, there's a Christian author that is warning women that masturbation is a direct path to Satan.
Yep.
Yeah. This is Mac Major of Eden Decoded, who wrote on Facebook that too many Christian women are losing their salvation because they masturbate. So, ladies, there's 3 of us in here. Listen up.
Thank goodness I'm not a Christian then.
Dildos and all those other sex toys have been used for thousands of years in demonic sex ritual, he wrote. It's one of the main ways ancient pagan societies worship their demonic gods. So there's nothing normal about it, and shame on any Christian that says so.
I think the only people who are obsessed by sex are the people who are trying to
stop it so much.
Make a felony out of it. I mean, these are the guys that need to be watched. I mean, how are they going to enforce this? I mean, the question always is, how do they intend to enforce this? It's ridiculous. It makes a stand, where you're the laughingstock of the entire world. But how are they going to intend to enforce it?
If those Catholic priests were encouraged to masturbate more, maybe there would have been less abused children.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's not going to be a slap on the wrist. They might slap you with something else.
You get a spanking. I don't know.
I bet that's illegal too now.
So, any more thoughts that we have on this? I can't even keep a straight face. I'm crying here over the microphone. I'm sorry, guys. This is just too fun.
If you're too happy when you show up to work,
if you're too happy, call Fappy.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're smiling too much. Where you're even masturbating. How dare you?
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to go to commercial break right now, and we'll be right back with more with Deborah and Beyond the Trail Park. We'll be right back.
CIVL 101.7.
If you want to do some good this year and help your fellow humans, check out the Women's Resource Society of the Fraser Valley.
The Women's Resource Society is a secular, feminist, non-profit organisation providing help to women and children in Mission and Abbotsford.
They have been providing safe refuge for women and children who need shelter as well as support and information since 1984.
So if you want to help bring awareness to women, youth and children who are experiencing violence or who are at risk of homelessness or in need of support, check out wrsfv.ca.
Again, if you want to donate or get involved, check out wrsfv.ca.
You are listening to Left at the Valley on CIBL 101.7 FM.
And we're back. We're back with Deborah from Beyond the Trailer Park. Deb,
Hey.
you're still with us.
I sure am.
Okay, so let's deal a bit deeper into...
Sure.
Let's stop talking about Fappy here, and let's deal a bit deeper with what you do. Do you have a mascot that represents... Okay. Deb, I noticed that I've been listening to your podcast for quite a while there. Last year, you were actually invited on the Dogma Debate podcastathon, and the only Canadian podcast that did so.
That's right.
That's a pretty good notch in your belt.
It was a lot of fun. Luckily for me, I'm a night owl because our spot was at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeesh. So from 5 to 6, you had the airwaves and you were providing the content.
That's right. Yes. David Smalley apparently had trouble understanding my accent. I don't know what's wrong with him, but
he's from Texas.
I know.
He's from Texas. We'll forgive him.
Well, and it was actually one of my co-hosts that helped arrange that. So I've kind of developed a real sort of family of fellow podcasters, and one of my co-hosts, she goes by Miss Ashley, and she's out of Savannah, Georgia, and she and her fiance have their own show called No Religion Required.
I've
heard of it. They are actually part of the secular media group with David Smalley. So when he was saying, it was actually only, I think, like 4 or 5 days beforehand that they still had spots left, and Ashley was like, "Hey, we can do that."
Sweet.
So yeah.
Are you guys planning to do it again this year? Here I am assuming there's going to be another one, but the next one.
I don't know. I've actually got kind of a full. I'm heading to Reason Rally in just over a month, or under a month now. We're leaving on May 30th. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we heading over to Reason Rally, and then let me see. Oh, and Ashley herself, they're getting married, so they're calling it Wedding Con because most of the guests are going to be fellow podcasters.
You should totally dress up. You should totally dress up as Fappy.
Yeah.
And show up at that wedding.
I'm a bridesmaid. I don't think that's going to go over so well.
We could just put a tiara and a little seafoam dress on the dolphin.
I'll tell her. I don't know. She might think it's amusing because the groom's mother is a bit of a challenge, shall we say, and a lot of us are sort of vying for who gets to freak out the mother of the groom the most.
Oh, nice. Well,
yeah, we're kind of a sick bunch, but yeah. So yeah, but being on with David Smalley was a lot of fun, and I've been traveling around and doing conferences. I actually just attended the first atheist conference in Nashville, Tennessee, beginning of March, where I got to meet David Silverman and hang out with him for a while, and then he did our show a couple of weeks later.
Yes, it was a good show too. I've been trying to get David Silverman to come on our show too.
Well, I think he was kind of surprised that someone from Canada would show up to Nashville of all places. But it was just kind of because Ashley and her fiance were going, and a number of my friends that I know, and it was the week of my birthday. And my husband was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I'm like, "Trips to Nashville." So. I actually left him at home on my birthday.
You left your husband home on your birthday to go to Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I did.
He probably hung around with Fappy.
It's funny because I am, doing all this all the time. And my husband is actually a Zen Buddhist, but he's what I call an apatheist. He just doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
So he has nothing to do with any of it. He's kind of like, you go do your thing and have fun.
Yeah. So anyway, so now that you got friends on the Canadian West Coast, let's network and let's get to all know each other. So we
Absolutely.
can talk to your friends and we'll
I've
talk.
never actually been west. It's kind of sad. I've been east all over the place, but I've never been past Chicago.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
if you do ever come out to the Vancouver region, make sure to stop by the studio.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and just tell us what your beverage of choice is, and we'll have it cold and waiting for you.
I am a wine drinker. So,
Oh, wine drinker.
Yeah.
You've
yeah,
just
I like
raised
my
raised the level
white
of
wine.
culture here by several points.
Oh, we have a bunch of wineries actually in the vicinity.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we
there's
have
a lot of good wineries
around
Yep.
Excellent. Well, see, I've been joking for years that I will at some point be deported from Canada because I do not like hockey, I do not like beer, I despise winter, and I don't even drink Tim Hortons coffee.
The comments about Debhorah are not necessarily those of CIVL 101.7 FM or the Left of Valley crew or those subsidiaries.
So, yeah, I've been joking for a long time, like, because, I mean, my family goes back to, like, I don't know, the 1830s in Canada, so I'm, like, extremely Canuck. But, yeah, I don't really fit.
Okay, so tell me something. Your show is fairly peculiar because, you know, you have yourself in Canada and you have a couple of American partners that are with you on a regular basis. What is it like to do a show with, you know, is there much of a clash of culture in a way? I mean, we talked to the Americans about being their cousins, but there's some major differences between them and us.
There really is. And my other co-host, Beth, she's originally from Buffalo, so she's sort of...
That's not her fault. Tell her it's not her fault.
Well, but get this. She used to play professional hockey in Canada.
There you go.
She's
There had to be a
kinda
good
more-
link there.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, so she's got the sort of northern aspect. Ashley is from Savannah, Georgia. So, yeah, we got the southern thing going on there. And it really is a huge difference. Like, I've spent time down there, and there literally is just a church everywhere. Like, you're driving down the road, and there's vans with church crap plastered all over them, and it's just unreal.
Yeah, it's like that here too, though. We're like right in the Bible Belt. I think it was
Okay.
Abbotsford has like the highest
Actually,
amount
yeah, Abbotsford
of churches.
is per capita is the Bible capital of the country.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I still don't think it'd be as bad as down there.
Well, no, I mean, the first time I went to Savannah, because I flew and I didn't check a bag, so I couldn't bring shampoo or anything with me because of the whole liquid thing. So right off the plane, I was like, I got to go to a Walmart and pick up some toiletries. So we went to the Walmart, and Ashley's like, here, you got to see this. And she takes me over to the women's clothing, and there's like a rack of T-shirts. And all of these T-shirts have, Jesus loves you, and I'm a princess for Jesus, and it was unreal. Like, you'd never see that here.
No, they know their market.
Oh, they do.
Oh, that's awesome.
They
so,
do.
so it's much more religious down in the States, is what you're saying.
Oh, huge.
Is there a lot of more differences you've noticed?
The Southerners are pretty laid back, but one thing that we talk about a lot on the show is the medical situation, because Beth, she actually suffered 2 strokes over the last year.
Oh, poor thing.
And because she is a minimum wage worker, like basically considered working poor, she was having a lot of difficulty getting decent medical treatment. She's still having difficulty getting decent medical treatment. And so we do talk about that quite a bit and the struggles that she goes through. And it's a lot different even in her state. She's living in Pennsylvania now. And so it's even a lot different in Pennsylvania than it is in Georgia, where Ashley is. So that's a topic that comes up quite a bit. And just talking about the attitude in America of nobody should get anything for free, you know what I mean? So when you talk to a right-wing American about, socialized medical care, they're like, people sucking off the system and yada, yada. And I don't understand that mentality. It's like, you want to help people. Like, why does it matter to you if they, quote, get it for free, which they don't.
Well,
and they don't realize that when they're voting and when they're talking about it, they're absolutely against their best interest. And most of these guys, they don't find out about it until they're seniors. Of course, they're on Medicare at that point. But when they see their benefits start to wither away, then all of a sudden it's, wait a minute, this isn't the system I thought it was.
Yeah, Jesus said, give away your money and take care of the poor, but socialize healthcare? No way, that's terrible.
Unless you're Republican, then forget it, yeah.
I think Michael Moore said it best in one of his movies. He says he was comparing Canada to the U.S. and says about Canadians, says they live in a world of we, and Americans live in a world of me.
Yeah.
And I think that sums it up really nice there.
Oh, it's Darwinian. It's like survival of the fittest down there. And here we do the Christian thing, which is we do take care of the poor. We do all pitch in money, and whoever needs it gets it.
Yeah, like, for instance, because she's had a stroke, like, she's still doing her best to work. But, realistically, she probably shouldn't be working. And she said it would take like several years to get approved for disability, and I couldn't believe this. She told me that she has a friend who is a quadriplegic who was denied disability twice before they got it.
Ouch.
Yeah, they have to go through, with Social Security, they have to actually go through Social Security system, and I didn't realize this until several years ago, but Social Security actually has its own court. You have to go through the judges and so forth, and sometimes you have to hire an attorney to represent you in order to get your disability. Sometimes it can be difficult up here, but I think it's probably more difficult in the States.
Yeah, whenever I'm in the state... Oh, sorry.
I can't imagine anybody up here looking at a quadriplegic and saying, no, you're not disabled. Like,
no, they look at me and they say that, so.
Right-wing Christian seems like an oxymoron to me.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, whenever I travel in the States, because I go in the States on a regular basis on business, just in northern Washington here, and I tell my customers, I say, I can't afford to be impolite to you, because if you punch me out, you punch my lights out, I can't afford to wake up in the Seattle hospital. I just can't afford it. So I have to be super nice to you anyway.
Exactly. And I get teased about the quote accent a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it must be fun when you go to Georgia and you get a lot of, y'all don't sound like you're from here.
Y'all not around from around here.
Where are y'all from?
Where'd you leave?
You guys would laugh when I was down there in March, because I went to Savannah and then we drove up to Nashville, because for some reason it was like $500 more money to fly directly to Nashville than to go to Savannah. So I just did that. And so when I was in Savannah the night before we left, I was I'm a disturber, so I wore a shirt. It had a picture of the devil on it, and it said, "God's busy. Can I help you?"
Nice.
Wore that around Savannah, and actually his fiance Bobby, he's like, it's just fun just watching people lose their mind watching you.
I gotta get a shirt like that.
I picked it up in Quebec City, actually.
There you go. My hometown.
And the week I bought it, I wore it to the Cathedral of St. Anne de Beaupré.
No, beautiful.
I like you a lot. That is awesome.
Thank you. I see, now this was back in 2013, and I actually even played in the holy water, but that was before I found out that it was full of E. coli, so I kind of regret that.
Yeah, if you look at my Facebook profile picture, it's Jesus riding a T-Rex.
Oh, I like that picture. I've seen that.
That's a great shirt.
So I wore that shirt in Savannah. Well, when we went to Nashville, are you guys familiar with a podcast called Cognitive Dissonance?
Oh, absolutely.
I have a glory hole shirt, which I wore all over Nashville.
Okay. I'm gonna put you on the spot there, because you know what? And a lot of our audience basically doesn't know what you mean when you say glory hole. So you have to explain that.
Well, I wasn't sure how PG this show is.
A lot less than yours. I started watching yours when I found out you were coming on the show.
Okay, because I drop F-bombs all the time, so...
Yeah, I noticed.
No, yeah, this is the airwaves. You gotta keep it. Try to keep it PG-13.
Okay. Well, a glory hole is it's a hole in a wall where a man might put something so that someone on the other side of the wall might enjoy said something. How does that work?
Good censoring.
Well done, and we can still come back next week and be part of the radio station.
Yeah, I think I've seen a hole like that somewhere in the university. No, I'm just kidding.
Excellent. So my shirt had a large something on the front of it. And we, before the conference didn't actually start till about noon, so we did some sightseeing ahead of the speeches, and we went to the Grand Ole Opry, because if you're in Nashville, what do? I don't even like country music, but, you're in Nashville, you visit the Opry, so we were, just taking pictures, and I'm walking around with the giant something on my shirt everywhere in Nashville, and we went to... a Hardee's for breakfast, and there was about 8 of us in the group. And a couple of our dear friends are also trans women. And when I went to order my food, the girl at the cash was like, "Is there an anime convention in town?" And I just looked at her. I'm like, "No, atheists." And I said, "But it's okay. I'm Canadian." You did not know what to do
You're
with
harmless
that.
now. You're Canadian. Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's my favorite line.
When I listen to your show, there's something I got to give you kudos for. You do a lot of Canadian politics.
Thank you.
And I got to give you kudos for that, because a lot of shows have a tendency to shy away from that.
Yeah.
And besides ours, I mean, I haven't really seen any show do it besides ours and maybe yours as well, right? Mm-hmm. So, have you found that to be good for your audience? Has your audience feedback has been really good with that?
I think so, yeah. And now, granted, probably 3/4 of my audience are Americans. That's just kind of how the podcasting goes right now. But
it's like a teachable moment for them.
Pardon?
It's like a teachable moment for them.
It is. It really is, and that's sort of how I looked at it. And I have to credit part of that to a friend of mine who actually lives up in Ottawa, Dave, and he gave me crap once. We're Facebook friends. We haven't actually got a chance to meet in person yet, but I'm hoping this summer. But he gave me crap a couple of times because most of my friends are Americans. And he's like, "You don't know enough about what's going on in Canada." And I was like, "You're right, I don't." So I brought him on to help me, because we did a segment ahead of the election where I researched how many political parties that we actually have registered federally, and it was 18 of them. And so he and I and Beth, Ashley wasn't a full-time co-host yet, but we went through all of these registered political parties and did segments on them. Now, some of them are so minuscule, like we could do 2 or 3 in a segment, but we did all the big ones and then all the weird little ones in between. And a couple of ones that we did that aren't actually registered, but I love them, so I had to the Natural Law Party.
Isn't there one called the Rhinoceros Party?
Any longer, but you can't make that stuff up.
No, you can't. Yeah, the Rhinoceros Party was actually a legitimate thing for the longest time.
My favorite. If the Rhinos came back, I would vote for them all the time.
Oh, for
They're
sure.
my absolute favorite.
I don't know anything about them. I just remember hearing the name. That's why I mentioned
I'm just surprised they have... Oh, it's complete satire, right? I mean, part of their platform was to move the Rockies 1 meter to the west.
Yeah.
Or, as a work project, it's like...
There is a YouTube video, and we actually played it on our show. In 1984, TVO gave all of the political parties at the time airtime, because there was a federal election that year. And so all the political parties were given 3 3 minutes or something of airtime, and the rhinos took their time, and that video is on YouTube still, and it is funny. The guy, I don't even know the guy's name that they had doing the video, but he explained how they wanted to use sex as a natural resource. It was brilliant.
Nice.
Because workers who have more sex do more work, and there's more output from workers who have more sex. So there you go.
Not in
They got a
Utah.
graph and everything.
Not in Utah, though.
No.
No, Utah, they send a dolphin to your door.
Yeah.
If Happy comes in there.
Well, I'm just kind of getting into your show. I watched the Mormon episode this morning, and then I watched.
Okay.
I watched a really short.
We've got three Mormon episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, then I watched
And-
another one where they were debunking chiropractician, or however you say that.
Oh, yep.
But I'm not
And-
sure where you are politically. I am extremely, extremely left-wing and very anti-conservative.
Me too.
Oh, there we go. Good.
There we go.
I kind of assumed
we're all
that.
getting along here. Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler
Oh,
would
yes.
reckon one of her latest episodes was with
actually,
Silverman.
Woo is another topic we bring up on the show a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I wasn't sure if it was just atheist stuff, because I'm really into the skeptical stuff. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no,
I can't
in
stand
fact-
anti-vaxxers and that kind of thing.
Oh, Beth is a research juggernaut. She's
Yeah, me
been
too.
blogging for 14 years, and she loves trashing all of the woo mongers. So she's done a lot of segments on anti-vax and miracle mineral solution and like just all of that crazy woo crap. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a guest. The show that we spun off from is called Atheists on Air, and he was a co-host of that. He goes by Professor Steven. He's
Yes.
actually a chemist, and he always did a segment called the Woo Woo Science segment. And so we had him on a couple of weeks ago, and we had a really good discussion about why GMOs are a good thing.
Yes, thank you. Kevin,
Yeah.
did you hear that, Kevin? I've been harassing him for weeks about GMOs. So.
Well, and Stephen actually, we go through how they make GMOs and what makes a GMO, and
That sounds like a lot of research.
It will, and the great thing is, Stephen knew this all off the top of his head. We didn't actually plan to talk about that. It just sort of happened, and he was able to discuss it and knew about it and all of that. And this week, we're actually we're having Rachel Nannon Brown on, and we're going to talk about evolutionary sexuality.
I love Rachel. We had her 2 years ago, I think. We had her on the show.
Yeah. I've done several shows with Rachel, not just on my show, but on a couple other shows. So Rachel's a friend of the show.
Well, I subscribed this morning, so I'll definitely be listening to it regularly.
Yeah, thank you. We enjoy it a lot, and we'll talk about anything.
You know,
and I found that some of our more popular episodes are where we do talk about the crazy religions. We have a friend of the show who's an ex-Scientologist, and we've had some great shows with him. We've done a show with some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and that was pretty popular.
I think I want to talk to that person. An ex-Scientologist? Oh, yeah, I could see us doing a show with that.
Robert is awesome. He was a Scientologist for 9 years.
9 years?
And 9 years. But what's unique about Robert is he worked for Scientology under contract. So he started out as just a contract job, and he wasn't even part of the church. He sort of merged with it as he worked there. So he was kind of in a special situation. So he worked, the contract was renewed for 9 years, but when he finally went, wow, this is crap, I need out of here, his contract ran out and that was it. He didn't have to deal with, pressure or being labeled suppressive or any of that junk. He was just out. So he has a really unique perspective that way.
I'll have to check that out. I've always wanted to learn more about Lord Xenu.
Oh, absolutely.
You get to meet Tom Cruise.
They just lost their tax-exempt status.
No, that was sad. That was satire.
Was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
was it?
Damn.
I fooled you all. I got so many people with that, and with the Noah's Ark theme park getting flooded, I got so many people with that one too.
I did not fall for the flood.
You're not allowed to start trolling your crew members here on the show. You're not allowed
it's
to do that.
hilarious. Hey, we're a skeptic group. You guys aren't supposed to get tricked.
Yeah,
that
well,
easily.
usually when I get information from you, I think it's supposed to be valuable information.
Well, and there's the other one with Iceland declares Christianity a public health problem.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
I got everybody like 3 days. Come on, I kept doing it over and over.
Well, we're coming towards the end of our show, Deb, so the mic is all yours, dear. Go right ahead and plug yourself. Be shameless.
Okay. Well, we are Beyond the Trailer Park is live on YouTube on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. That's Eastern. And if you prefer the audio-only version, we are also on Spreaker, Stitcher, and iTunes, so you can find us. So usually I put it out the same night as our live show. And we have BeyondTheTrailerPark.com, so you can go there and get the links to where you can find the show. And I try to keep a list of what the upcoming shows are and all of our contact information and that stuff. And I will briefly mention the other show that I do. I'm a panelist on Holy Crap, the Vlogcast, and it's a weird time. It's 12:05 a.m. Eastern on Sunday morning.
That is a weird time.
Yeah, and my friend whose show, Shujin Trimble, is the host of the show. Yes, we're a bunch of Trekkie nuts, and he picked it that time for some weird reason I don't remember, but that's when it is. And we are a panel of 8, and international. There's 2.5 Canadians because my friend Joseph's been living in Paris, France for 25 years, but he is originally Canuck. So we have a guy in Edmonton, we have a guy in Maryland, another lady in Indiana, another fellow in Pennsylvania, and Shujin's in Buffalo, and another fellow in northern England. So we are truly international, and we talk about all kinds of anything to do with secularism, whatever turns our crank, I guess. And every 10th show, we do a not safe for work show where we swear our faces off.
And do you actually read the comments on YouTube? Some people do, some people don't. So okay.
The only comments I tend to get on YouTube are from some goofball called Nephilim Free.
Nephilim, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's stay in touch, and hopefully maybe one day we'll show up on your show. That'd be great too.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure, Deb.
Having Canadians on.
Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your day, Deb. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Oh, and check out our theme song. It's awesome.
Coming up on the show, like we announced a bit earlier, next week we're supposed to do a show on the homeopathic medicine, but we're going to push that back because we have His Rawness, Arn Raw, will be live in studio with us. Can't wait for that. I got to go out and get some beer real quick. Coming down the pipe, we also have Russell Glasser and Tracy Harris coming down as well. We'll have a Sasquatch Hunter somewhere in July. Should be all fun.
Yeah.
Debbie, once again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And for everybody out there in Radio Land, until next time.
Vishnu, you don't believe in them. I think the reason is apparent. You do what you're told and believe in the God assigned by your